जीविका अनेक प्रेरणार उत्स अनेक नियारा व्यक्तित्व को आज अतिथि आपण देखा पाई। आज आम सह जड़े अच्छा एमती दार्शनिक जी आपण को निश्चित भाव अनुप्राणित करेंगे वेदांत टीचर एवं फिलोसोफर एल रामस्वामी आज अतिथि। सर नमस्ते, वेलकमिंग यू टू आवर शो।
Namaste, Jai Jagannath to all.
What is Vedanta philosophy? How did you come to it? And who is your inspiration in this field of philosophy?
Vedanta philosophy refers to the knowledge contained in our Upanishads. End portion of the Vedas is Vedanta, which is Upanishads. Also, the term Vedanta can be interpreted as end of knowledge. Okay. Veda means knowledge, Anta means end of knowledge. So, end of knowledge means that knowledge having known, you need not know anything else, which is knowledge of your own self. That is called Vedanta. My inspiration is my Guru Swami Parthasarathi. He is a living legend. He is 98 years old. And I studied in Vedanta Academy, founded by our Swamiji in Pune for 5 years. And since then, stationed in Kolkata, I have been studying and taking classes on Vedanta, Bhagavad Gita, and related texts.
Sir, is religion important to you?
Before answering that question directly, I will tell you what the term religion means. Religion is derived from the Latin term re plus ligare. That means, re means to go back to the original source. That is the meaning of the term religion. In our Sanskrit also we have the term yoga.
Okay.
Yoga is coming from the term yuj. Yuj means to join, to unite. So religion means to unite back to your own original source. Any attempt that you take to get back to your original source is called as religion. Religion is definitely important. We also use another term, spirituality. Usually the term spirituality is associated with the philosophy aspect and religion is associated with the rituals aspect.
Okay.
But if you go to the root of the term spirituality also, spirit and matter. So when a person wants to get back to the spirit, unite the matter with the spirit, that is called spirituality. So in that sense, spirituality and religion are important. Not just important, they are necessity.
What should be the goal of humanity?
Okay. See, various human beings have various goals in life. Suppose if you ask a person, he may be interested in becoming a millionaire. Somebody may want to do well in politics or in sports. So various peoples may have various goals in life. But Vedanta says, goal of life, which is what you asked, is one and the same for all. The goal of life is to find out our own real identity, to get into what is known as this infinite state of happiness. See, a person is pursuing wealth, name, fame, studies, various things he pursues. But the basis of all that is that he wants happiness. And we don't want limited happiness. We want unlimited happiness, infinite happiness. So, the goal of humanity in and through all these methods, in and through all these goals, is to find out the real source of happiness. And that is the goal of humanity. Some people unconsciously seek it through the world. Vedanta says you try to directly seek it.
According to you, what is the source of happiness?
Okay. Vedanta says the source of happiness is the self within, or you can use the term Atma. See, what we believe ourselves to be is that I am this body. Within this body is my mind and intellect. इस शरीर के अंदर हमारा अंतःकरण जो होते हैं उसको मन और बुद्धि ऐसे नाम से कहा जाता है. बट बियॉन्ड द बॉडी, बियॉन्ड योर माइंड, बियॉन्ड योर इंटेलेक्ट, देयर इज समथिंग विच वी डोंट नो. People may use different terms. Soul also they say, if you understand it in the proper sense, or self or Atma. That is called as the real personality, which makes this body, mind and intellect function. Just as electricity is the soul of every light, not just every light, every electrical gadget. Heater produces heat, a cooler produces coolness, but the electricity is same in all the gadgets. Exactly like that, a person may be cool, a person may be hot. It all depends on his mind. It all depends on how his structure is. But the core of his personality is called as Atma, which is one and the same in all.
We are living in such a society where we all know India in happiness index, we are ranking low, and we are being more materialistic, less happy. What is the reason behind you find it?
First of all, this happiness index, whatever is the list that has been released, of course, there is a way by which they measure and release. On what basis, I really do not know, but I will not get into it because I have not studied that in detail. But it is true that any society for that matter, whether it is Western society or Eastern society, as long as the focus is on materialistic world, bereft of knowing the purpose of life. Please understand, Vedanta is not against gaining success or material prosperity in the world. In fact, in Bhagavad Gita, Lord Krishna is telling Arjuna, Tasmat tvam uttishta yasho labhasva. Fight the war, win the battle, gain fame, rule the kingdom, he says. So, Vedanta is not against achieving any material prosperity or material success in the world. You can achieve everything. But behind all those things, if you are able to understand why I am doing this, what is the purpose, if you are able to change the attitude behind that, that makes it either material or spiritual. Now,
What should be our attitude?
Right. Our mental attitude should be that in and through all the pursuit, so spirituality is not dependent on what you do, but how you do it. Say, for example, you are working in a studio like this. I am in a field where I am teaching, let us say, Bhagavad Gita or something. That does not automatically make me spiritual or you material. I may be in this field, let us say, my constant focus is on how to gain more money, how to gain more following or more respect. Still, my thoughts are worldly. So that makes me a material person only, not a spiritual person. So my attitude should be, in this field, how can I serve the society? Or how can I pass on the knowledge? How can I be of service to the world? That makes me spiritual.
But morality in the process of education can develop spirituality?
Yes, definitely the education must be made in such a way that these values are inculcated right from our school days or college days also. External world is explained by science, internal world is answered by this science. So therefore, this gives the basis for morality also. So Vedanta, you can say, is the basis of ethics, morality. Yeah.
Nowadays, parents are getting headache because youth is becoming indisciplined. How do you find a solution behind it?
Actually, if you go to the youth time of the parents, they were also like that only. In the sense, all of us are rebels.
No, there is difference in this generation, previous generation and this generation.
In each and every successive generation, we do see that there seems to be like a deterioration. This is our general observation.
This is devotional gap?
It need not be said like that. It is said that in Gita, yadyat acharati sreshtaha tattat eva itara janaha. That means, whatever is the ideal person or the leader, whatever standard he sets, that's what others follow. Not a leader should not give bhashan, but he should walk the path and show. So, if the parents are disciplined, if the parents are seeing the mobile phone all the time, and they are sleeping late and getting up late, you cannot expect your son or daughter to be disciplined. It is not possible. Okay. And you cannot say that, no, our generation, it is different. Now you at least listen. It will not work. If a father is smoking and if he tells the son not to smoke, it will not work. Sooner or later, he is going to pick up the cigarette. So that is why teacher is also called as Acharya. Acharya means Swayam Acharati. Achinoti Shastratan. That means he knows all the Shastras. He knows the method of teaching also. But most importantly, he walks the path and shows the student this is the path that you need to follow. Only by looking them as example, even if the teenager goes little bit astray here or there, he will be able to come back and put him back on the rail the moment he is able to see the inculcation of the values through conduct, not through lectures.
बहुत बढ़िया कथा सार जमती कहते जे पेरेंट्स माने बा अभिभावक माने सेई रास्ता रे चलंतु जो रास्ता पिला मान को देखिया पई चाहउचंती कारण जदि आपण पृथक रास्ता रे चलिबे आ सेमान को कहिबे पृथक रास्ता रे चलिबा पई प्रथमे निजे पिलांक पई एक उदाहरण बनिबा पई चेष्टा करंतु सेउठु परिवर्तन आरंभ हबो खूब सुंदर कथा बट इज सफरिंग इज मैंडेटरी नेसेसरी
Suffering means why only suffering? Even good phase that you have in life, heaven or a bad phase in life you have hell. Naraka और स्वर्ग सिर्फ ये दुनिया को छोड़कर कहीं और नहीं है. ये सिर्फ in this world also, in a happy state of mind is called swarga, and a sorrowful and painful state of mind is called as naraka. Both are effects of your past karma. If you have done good things, happy things which will cause happiness to others, your mind will be happy. That is swarga. Similarly, if you are being extremely selfish and you have caused disturbance to others, that will be naraka. Now you are asking, is it a necessary or a mandatory thing? It is based on what good, bad, mixed, all actions put together. But as far as spiritual path is concerned, only when suffering is there that you think of God, that you think of even philosophical questions. That is why in Buddhism also Lord Buddha says, Dukkham Dukkham Sarvam Dukkham. That means, unless if everything is jolly well and good, you don't, even Kabira says, na, Dukh mein sumiran sab kare, Sukh mein kare na koi. Jo Sukh mein sumiran kare, Dukh kahe ko hoy. When suffering is there, everybody thinks of God. When happy state of mind is there, nobody thinks of God. When you think of God in happy times, there will not be no dukkha at all for you. So suffering in that sense, if you use it positively, at that time, see, suppose till yesterday your friend was talking to you. Today is no more. That time, really some deep questions about life will come to you. What is life? I mean, there's no permanency. You understand those philosophical questions will come out of any person. Even a most materialistic person or a egoistic person also, those questions will come up. So that way, if you are able to direct those questions into finding out answers, you can use the suffering for a positive future.
ओके सो कर्मा कनेक्ट्स एवरीवेयर. सर अगर पिछले बार कोई खराब काम किया है, अभी वो अच्छा कर रहा है, भरपाई हो रहा है कि नहीं?
हाँ, जैसा अकाउंट्स में आपका सारा डेबिट क्रेडिट को ऑफसेट करेगा, वैसे ही इफ यू टेक इट एक्शन टू एक्शन, अकाउंट टू अकाउंट, दैट विल हैव इट्स इम्पैक्ट. इसलिए हमारे शास्त्रों में भी प्रायश्चित्त कर्म, पश्चाताप, जो पास्ट को अवेयर होकर, जैसा मुझे अभी ज्ञान मिल रहा है, आई आफ्टर गेटिंग नॉलेज आई टर्न बैक टू माई पास्ट एंड से ओ आई शुड नॉट हैव डन दैट. जैसा मेरे ये रिग्रेट सब आ रहा है, उसके हिसाब से मैं थोड़ा अच्छा काम कर रहा हूँ, देन आई गो ऑन टू डू ऑल पॉजिटिव थिंग्स. दैट इफेक्ट विल बी slowly offset, and then your positive balance will increase.
How do you deal with past regrets then?
Okay, past regret, first of all, the regret will come only when you raise your level from present level of knowledge to a higher level of knowledge. Jaisa somebody is being very cruel to animals, somebody is being very cruel to others, and he doesn't even register that. Okay, he doesn't even think whether that is right or wrong. He is in a very gross state. Somehow he gets into some satsang or some education comes to him. Somebody is saying, why are you doing like this? This is not correct. And slowly, over a period of time, sometimes he gets that awareness, and so he raises his level of awareness. It is at that time he will look back at his past and have that regret.
Regrets.
Okay, that little bit of regret is necessary, because if you don't regret and don't have any feeling at all, then the future
You will not rectify yourself.
you will not rectify. But at the same time, you cannot keep on living in the past forever, because jo ho gaya so ho gaya. You cannot go to the past and correct it. In the present, मैं क्या कर सकता हूँ?
Start for a change.
So you have to slowly concentrate, however difficult it is, because past tendencies will be there, regret will be there. You have to fight against it. That is the price you have to pay also. But have an optimistic vision of the future with the strength of the knowledge. By the grace of Guru and God, we can proceed forward, and a time will come when the past accounts will be settled.
So do you think a human will last more than 1,000 years?
If the humans have lasted for the last, I don't know, millions of years, whatever science has a take, I do not know.
No, what is Vedanta philosophy says?
Okay. Now, 1,000 years seems to be a very big period for you now. But 1,000 years is just like this. If you consider how time span is explained to us from Hinduism or Vedantic point of view. Particularly in the West and in the other faiths, the time is linear in nature. For us, the time is cyclical in nature. So you have these calculations given in Puranas about Kali Yuga being 4,32,000 years, Dwapara Yuga is twice that time, 8,64,000 years, like that and all. In that, if you see, 1,000 years is basically nothing. It only seems big because we don't see beyond ourselves. And what is my age? 50 years or 60 years or 80 years. That seems very big. And 1,000, therefore, we cannot imagine. But 1,000 years is just like that. It is nothing. So why not 1,000? It will last even for, it will last more if you consider it that way. But I want to put a point to our viewers. This is a philosophical thought. Last night when you were sleeping, if you had a dream, okay? In the dream, let us say we are talking like this in the studio, and you are asking if the humanity will last for even 100 years, okay? And I am also giving some answer to that. And suddenly something happened, you woke up from the dream. The dream was not more than 2 minutes or 3 minutes. In 3 minutes, you have created how many years? You have created your own age, which is 50 years, 60 years, whatever it is. You have created a city. You have created Himalayas, which are all million years. All this time factor was only 3 minutes from our waking point of view. Similarly, now you are asking 1,000 years, million years, billion years. How do you know this entire thing is like a dream only? So the point
That's so interesting.
It is from
so how do you find life after death?
Life after death, from the present perspective of our understanding. There is a noise there.
No.
The life from our present perspective, we know only our life and our experiences. Beyond life, what is death, we do not know, but we only see people living and dying. From science point of view, matter is neither created nor destroyed. Now your mind is also made up of matter. It is energy, it is force. So to say that all the energy will vanish into vacuum is not scientific. So what happens to that we do not know, but to say that death is the end is not scientific also. So what the rishis of the past did is, they audited the accounts. What is the account? In one side, a person dies and where his energy is going, we do not know. On the other side, newborn babies are there and they are having distinct tendencies, desires right from birth. Where it is coming, they do not know. So they audited the accounts and balanced the connectivity here, and then they connected, there must be life after death.
Okay.
Now what is happening, whether the person is immediately born or whether he goes to Swarga, Naraka and born later, that is a matter of speculation, and whatever is given in the Shastras we can understand. But what we must understand is that just as on a daily basis you are awake for 16 hours, then you sleep for 8 hours, then you are awake for 16 hours, like this continues. If you consider this entire lifetime as one day, after that you go to sleep, which is death. After that you wake up again, which is the next birth. After that you sleep.
So there must be a cycle.
Okay. If the same cycle of the microcosm applies to macrocosm, and it applies to the whole universe also. The entire universe is born. For millions of years it will be there. It will go to sleep again. It will be like that.
Okay. सर, हम सालों से चले आ रहे रिचुअल्स को मानते हैं. कोई इसे अंधविश्वास कहते हैं, ब्लाइंड बिलीफ. आप इसे कैसे देखते हैं?
Actually, जो हमारे शास्त्र, उपनिषद, वेद और स्मृति और उसके बेस्ड ऑन दैट स्मृति, इसमें जो भी रिचुअल्स दिए हैं, from what we have studied, they are quite scientific and they serve us at various levels. This term Andhavishwas mostly comes from the fact that persons have not invested time to understand what it is. अच्छा, जब एक बच्चा बड़ा हो जाता है, whenever he is growing, at a young age, all these rituals are introduced to him. Okay, whether going to a temple or puja that he does, or you do Gayatri Mantra, all those rituals are introduced to him. At that time, he may not be able to question why he is doing it, but that is important samskar that they put it in the very young age. But later on, he may ask question, why should I go to temple? Or why should I put a tilak on my forehead, or various things like that. At that time, one needs to give a proper and a scientific answer to him for him to feel inspired and continue. Otherwise, he may get influenced by whoever calls this as Andhavishwas, and we cannot blame him. Now, rituals at every level has a meaning at the physical level, at the emotional level, and at the spiritual level. I'll give you an example. For example, you put tilak on your forehead. Now, from a physical point of view, it is said the ladies also wear a bindi, or you can have a ash or a chandan, various things you may have, but exactly in this point they put something. Now, from a point of view of psychology, they say the point of concentration is here, and suppose even if you go to a hypnotist, first and foremost thing he will ask you to remove is this, because this is the point from which he can hypnotize you and make you go into sleep, where he can extract information from you. So this is something that you wear to protect yourself from external influences. This is the physical aspect of it. What is the emotional or sentimental aspect of it? It adds, in a way, a beauty, a way in which you can present yourself, a way in which you can express your thoughts inside. That is shown as this beauty. This is at the emotional level. But philosophically, what is the meaning is that when I go out from my house, from the puja room, I do something like this and I go out. When I see you first, what strikes me is what I see you on your face, and what you see me is what I see on my face. Without getting involved in my work, I have to do my work. I am away from God and other thing. But even as I am doing the worldly duties, I must not get involved in this. I must remember my original purpose of going to God. So I am reminded of this. So this simple ritual of putting a bindi here also has meaning at various levels. Like that, doing a yajna, going to a temple, breaking a coconut. So many rituals that we have. Each and everything, if you probe into it, it has beautiful meaning to it. I would say even without meaning, inculcate those things in the minds of the children. But most importantly, when they are asking questions, you must either say, I don't know, and try to find the answer, or get him to the right source where he will get the answer. For this, I would say, our Swamiji has written a book called Symbolism of Hindu Gods and Rituals, Festivals. Everything is very scientifically explained. Why Vishnu has 4 hands, why Ganesha is sitting on a mouse, or why Kartikeya is mounting on a peacock, what is the significance of Deepavali and Dashara, why do we worship bull or a cow. Each and everything has a very deep significance with reference to our practical philosophy of life also. So in that way, I would say you cannot classify them as Andhavishwas, but you start with Vishwas, then probe into finding out the truth behind it. That is why in this country, we are not merely believers, we are seekers, जिज्ञासु. सिर्फ विश्वास करने वाले, श्रद्धा रखने वाले ही नहीं है. श्रद्धा और विश्वास is the starting point, but jnana is the ending point. You have to gain the knowledge from that.
So my last question is, what is the concept of Vedanta philosophy in a single sentence?
Vedanta philosophy in a single sentence is Tattvamasi. You are that. That is the Upanishadic statement. You are not what you believe yourself to be. You are not the body, you are not the mind, you are not the intellect. Beyond the body, mind, intellect, you are that supreme self. And that in essence is Vedanta philosophy.
What's the most sensible thing you have ever heard in the path of spirituality?
Okay, from the practical point of view, the most sensible thing that I have learnt, particularly from my teacher, is that never can you blame the external world for your stress. Stress or happy state of mind is purely internal.
मतलब खुद के दुख के लिए हम दूसरों को कोस नहीं सकते.
दूसरों को या बाहर दुनिया को you cannot complain about that. Whatever be the situation.
So whom do we blame?
You, if at all there has to be a blame, it has to be, the answer has to be found within you only. Okay. I'll give you an example. A person picks up a cigarette and smokes. He finds pleasure, particularly if he smokes after a long time, he is finding a pleasure. Another person runs away from smoke. He cannot stand cigarette. So, if cigarette being the same produces pleasure to one and pain to another. So, it is not in the cigarette. It is how you relate with the cigarette. One person wants to divorce a lady. Another person is wanting to marry the same lady. Lady being the same produces pain to one and pleasure to another. So, you cannot really put the blame on the lady that she is irritating or she is nagging or something. If you are stressed, again I am coming back on the point that if you feel stressed, the problem lies within you. You do not know how to relate with that situation. You do not know how to relate with the world. That causes stress.
पर कभी कभी हम किस्मत को कोसते हैं ये बोल के कि मैंने कुछ किया ही नहीं और भगवान मेरे साथ ऐसे कैसे कर लिए.
अच्छा, ये बहुत इम्पोर्टेंट सवाल है. और ज़्यादातर लोग ये इंग्लिश में जो लक बोलते हैं या इंडियन लैंग्वेजेस में फेट, आप किस्मत या भाग्य बोलते हैं. मेरा भाग्य में लाई है, ऐसा कुछ बोलते हैं. इसका संस्कृत में एक बहुत अच्छा शब्द है. दैट टर्म इज कॉल्ड अदृष्टम. ऐसे इन साउथ इंडिया ऑल्सो वी यूज द टर्म अदृष्टम फॉर लक. जैसा कि हर प्रकार का वॉट एवर इज हैपनिंग इन द वर्ल्ड हैपन्स ऑन द बेसिस ऑफ cause and effect, karana karya. Okay, nothing in the world happens without any cause. If that is the case, you cannot even understand how the nature functions. We are able to understand science because there is an order, there is a system.
So do you believe in पिछले जन्म का पाप?
I am coming to that. Pichle janam is again, it is talking about theory of reincarnation. Before theory, we have to understand what the law is. The law of theory of reincarnation is based on the law of causation.
Okay.
What is causation? Every effect has to have a cause. Suppose if I work for 1 month and I get a salary. Salary is what I see. That is the effect. And what is the cause? I work for 1 month. That is the cause. Suddenly one day I got a lottery of 1 lakh rupees. Then your mother or wife says, oh, you are lucky today. You have got luck. That is, we do not know why it has come. But it has come. The effect is seen. Cause is not seen. Or one day 1 lakh goes away from your purse. Bad luck. Or accident. Something you say that. So, wherever cause is not seen, you call that adrishtam. Drishtam is seen, adrishtam is not seen. What is not seen? What is not seen is the cause. See, suppose you say, if you put a mango seed, only mango tree will come. If you put a coconut seed, only coconut tree will come. Similarly, whatever good action you do, the good effect will come. Whatever bad action you do, bad effect will come. Sometimes you don't know the cause. I'll give you an example. Suppose there is an auditorium where a lecture is going on. And they have announced, please switch off your mobile phone. They have kept the board also, they have announced also. You are happily keeping the mobile phone on. It is not that you purposely want to disturb others, but you are not aware. And when an important concept is going on, your mobile rings. What happens is that everybody there gets irritated. And they, who is this person? I know they are cursing
because of that distraction.
They are distracted. So that means you are the cause of loss of concentration for others. Right? You may say, I did not purposely do it, but you did it. You are the cause of it. Later, you say you went to an interview and the easy question was there. Suddenly you forgot the answer. You don't know why that loss of concentration. It was my bad luck. Mera bhagya mein nahi tha. No. You had caused the loss of concentration for others. Now it is coming back to you as this effect. So that is called as luck.
So karma plays jo bolte.
Karma plays. We only understand this law of karma in totality. Sometimes you will know the cause. Sometimes you don't know the cause. Suppose if you are not getting the effect in this janma, it will carry forward to next janma.
एल रामस्वामीଙ୍କ ସହିତ ଆଗକୁ ଆହୁରି ଅନେକ ଆଲୋଚନା ବାକି ଅଛି. ଜୀବନ ଏବଂ ଦର୍ଶନ ତାଙ୍କ ସହିତ କଥା ହେବା ବେଳେ ବହୁତ ମଜା ମଧ୍ୟ ଆସୁଛି. Sir, is life is same for animal and humans?
See, when you ask, is life same for animal and human? In terms of all the physical and physiological functions, it is the same. Plants, animals, humans, whatever we classify as living beings, we are born, we grow, we ripen, we get into disease, old age, and we die. This is
everything is same.
This is common for all. But what sets the life of a human being different from animals is that apart from the computerized, programmed way of life which is given at birth for the animals, they cannot do anything apart from it. A cow has to live a cow's life and die. It will eat grass, it will be meek, it will be mild, it will be producing milk for others. That is cow's life. A tiger has to lead a tiger's life. It will be ferocious, it will kill others and eat. That is tiger's life. You cannot, if you have a pet dog, you cannot ask the question to your pet dog, How do you visualize yourself 10 years from now? What do you want to become? All these questions will not arise for animals. And the best part is, since they don't have any choice, they don't have any problem also. But a human being is designed with this faculty called intellect, where there is a choice. You can do this or that. You can take a commerce group or a science group. You can choose to marry this person or that person. You may want to eat vegetarian or non-vegetarian. Like that, we are flooded with choice at every point of time. Not only major choices in life, whether you want to settle in Odisha or outside Odisha, those are maybe major decisions you can make, or marry or not marry, whatever it is. But today, what color shirt should I wear? Even that is a choice. Where I should go for dinner, that is a choice. So this choice is given for a human being. Therefore, human beings need to know on what basis we should choose. Interesting part is, if a person chooses on the basis of his mind's impulses, it may give him immediate pleasure. But in the long run, it may not be good for him. On the other hand, if he chooses on the basis of right and wrong, so there are two bases of choice. One is pleasure and pain.
So we have decision-taking capacity? They have not.
They don't have decision-taking capacity. And on what basis do we decide? Do we decide on the basis of pleasure and pain or right and wrong? Intellect says right and wrong. Mind says pleasure and pain. The human should therefore invest time to develop the intellect and make the right choices.
So thank you so much for being here. हमको बहुत अच्छा लगा आपसे बात करके और बहुत चीज जानने को मिला. We are grateful to you.
Thank you. जय जगन्नाथ.
दर्शक बंधु आमे कथा होथिलो फिलोसोफर वेदांत टीचर एल रामास्वामी सहित जीवन को लेकिन दर्शन को लेकिन अनेक किछि कथा जानिबा को पाइले. पुणी देखाबो आउ एक सकाळ रे आउ जणे नुआ अतिथि विदाय दियंतु. नमस्कार.